Of all the things you can add to your garage gym, of all the upgrades you can do to make your garage gym the best it can be, the pinnacle of garage gym awesomeness, the thing we're going to talk about today may very well be deserving of one of the top spots. And the crazy thing is, it's not even a piece of gym equipment. When most people think of building out a garage gym, they think of things like power racks, kind of the centerpiece of a lot of home gyms. Maybe getting some really good bars or some iron to throw on those bars. Maybe a treadmill, so you can keep that cardio game on point. Hell, maybe even an echo bike or assault bike if you like a little dose of nausea and vomiting thrown in with your cardio. And if you've done some research, you've probably heard about stall mats, which in my opinion is the best floor option for a garage gym. And if these are the kind of things you're thinking about, you'd be wrong. Just kidding. You'd be absolutely right. Any of these would be great ways to start off, great items to get when you're starting to build out a home gym. But something that a ton of folks overlook, including myself, when they first start building out their home gym is the air. Specifically, the temperature of the air in your gym. Most people's garages are not hooked up to the central heat and air that runs inside your house. And typically most garages either aren't insulated very well or not insulated at all. So what you end up with is temperatures in your garage fluctuate more than a woman going through menopause. If you live up north in the winters, your garage is freezing, which doesn't make it great. All the bars are so damn cold. When you grab them, you feel like you're gonna stick to it like the kid from A Christmas Story.
Oh no, your nuts frozen to the porch? Oh, that sucks.
It takes way longer to warm up, your hands are not, it's overall just not a fun experience when it's like 10 degrees outside to work out in a garage. I don't deal with that too much here in Florida because we have super mild winters, but what I do deal with in Florida, and I think it potentially could be worse, is heat. I get days where the temperature is well into the triple digits, and then just to throw another little scoop of fuck you on top, the humidity's so high, it feels like you need a damn scuba tank to be able to breathe. If you've never experienced the kind of oppressive heat and humidity we get in the deep south, imagine a literal sauna, but everywhere. If you're not picking up what I'm putting down, you try working out in the devil's colon and see how it works out for you. What you end up with is a situation where you fatigue way faster just because of the heat and nothing to do with your ability to lift more, lift heavier, run further, run faster.
Don't be a bitch, Jeremy. Working out in the heat is hardcore.
Look here, wannabe David Goggins.
Who's gonna carry the boats and the logs?
When I work out, I am trying to increase my overall athleticism, keep my strength up, and hopefully keep myself from looking like a busted can of biscuits when I'm naked. I'm not trying to train for running an Ironman in the Sahara Desert, so the heat hinders my training rather than helps it. If I do want to work on that kind of training, stamina, heat adaptation, stuff like that, I'll throw on my weighted vest and I'll go ruck for a few miles out in the heat. There's plenty of that shit outside. When I'm working out here in the gym, I would rather not feel like I'm being teabagged by Satan while I'm trying to do bench press. Okay, so all of that long rant to say, you need to get a way to control the temperature in your garage. And one of the best ways and easiest ways to do that is a mini split. Think of a mini split kind of like something, a hybrid, kind of halfway in between a whole home central heat and air system and one of those window unit ACs that we used to have in a bunch of stuff when I was a kid. You have the inside part, which is this part up here that's up on the wall. That is your air handler and evaporator, basically the part that blows the cooled and heated air. Then you have the second part of the system, which goes outside, and it's basically like a small version of a full home central heat and air. It is your compressor and condenser. It literally looks like just a miniature version of what you have for your whole home AC. They're cheaper, they're easier to install, and they do a fantastic job cooling a space, especially something like a garage. A lot of folks with like a reasonable amount of skill working with their hands, a little bit of light electrical work, etc., could probably do the install themselves, but it's also a really fast and easy install for a professional HVAC guy. The guy that does my AC normally, he knocked this one out in like 2 hours. So if you don't want to mess with it yourself, it's a pretty cheap install to get it done professionally. This particular unit came with a nice little handy remote, which you can control your temps, all your settings, schedule, stuff like that. You can also hook this thing up to your Wi-Fi and control it through an app on your phone. It can oscillate side to side, up and down to help circulate the air a little better in the room. And the air that blows out of this thing is way colder than the air that comes out of the vents in my house. And I'm sure that has something to do with it's blowing directly out of there and not having to travel through all the ducts, but Nevertheless, thing blows cold as hell. It does have a heating function, obviously, but I can't speak to how efficient it is. I haven't had to use it for the winter yet. As far as pricing goes, that's a little tougher. Depends on the size of the space that you're trying to heat and cool. You know, all of these things come in different sizes based on the area you're heating and cooling. The size unit you're gonna need to get, where you live, the model, brand you wanna get, all those kind of things. There's a lot of variables, but all in all, for a basic situation, I would say you could probably get one of these done for somewhere in the $3 to $5 grand range, which isn't cheap by any means, but it's a hell of a lot less expensive than some of the other options. All right, folks, before we get into the second half of how to keep your garage from being a sweatshop like you're making Nikes out here, let's take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Tiege Hanley. These guys are one of the longest sponsors on the channel in a product I literally use every single day, but for some reason still the one that some of you guys are resistant to, which is crazy to me because guys generally don't blink an eye at trying new stuff. Hey man, have you tried this new creatine? I've heard it increases overall strength, your endurance, your muscle size, all the things. Did you say muscle gains? Bro, you might want to check this new protein I just got out. This stuff is supposed to have 320 grams of protein per scoop with no protein farts. 320 grams, I gotta get some of this. But no protein farts? How else am I gonna Dutch oven my wife at night when we're watching TV? Okay, I've never really thought of farts as a good thing, but to each their own. My dude, you have got to check out this new beard oil I just got. This stuff is supposed to make your beard 150 times thicker. It grows 2 inches a month, and it has pheromones that makes you instantly attractive to all women. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, a couple drops will get it done, man. What? Now there's not gonna be any for me. How am I gonna get laid? All right, man, I got something new for you. I got this new skincare system for men. Check it out. Their level 1 system comes with all the basics. You've got a daily face wash to clean you up, an exfoliating scrub to knock off all that dead skin, an AM moisturizer with 20 SPF to protect your skin from sun damage, a PM moisturizer. They also include a card with instructions on how much to use and when to use it. Being a member also has cool benefits like 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive deals, pause or cancel at any time, and free shipping in the US. I don't know, bro. Skincare seems kind of gay. All the crazy, wild, untested, non-FDA shit guys will try. And you mentioned some skincare to keep your face from getting as dried up and wrinkly as your grandpa's nutsack, and everybody loses their mind. Your skin is just another part of your body, and if you're gonna do all this stuff out here in the gym to keep yourself healthy, take all this other stuff to keep yourself at peak form, taking 5 minutes to take care of your mug shouldn't be a big deal. And because the good folks at Tiege Hanley are sponsoring this video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the link down below and you will get 40% off your first box and a free gift. Side note, they also have really good deodorant and ball powder, which comes in super handy in the summer months. So quit being a dipshit. Try it out, click the links below. Now let's get back to keeping this garage from feeling something like the 7th circle of hell. Okay, so we've established mini splits. They're your friend. And something you can do to make it a little easier on your friend so it doesn't have to work so hard to keep your garage cool, better insulation. Now, depending on where you live, when and how your house was built, maybe your garage is already insulated really well. If that's the case, you're golden, pony boy. You can skip this part and just skip your ass right to later on in this video. But unfortunately, most of the time, that's not gonna be the case. I know in Florida, unless you specifically ask for it when you're building your house, they don't put insulation in the walls in your garage, in the attic in the garage, or obviously they don't insulate the garage door. Adding insulation to your attic, kind of a pain in the ass. Adding insulation to your walls after the fact, huge shit show because there's a bunch of drywall work. However, adding insulation to your garage door, not really too big of a deal. Garage doors are usually just made of thin sheet metal. When it gets hot, or especially if the sun's beating on this thing, it just pumps out heat like an easy bake oven, which in turn means to keep this garage cool with all this heat pumping off this thing, our poor mini split over there has to work harder than a CSI team at P. Diddy's house.
Whoa! Oh my God. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, come on!
Please turn it off, please, God.
So slapping a little insulation on this guy is gonna go a long way to make our AC work way more efficiently. Now, there are multiple ways you can go about insulating your garage door. They even sell like pre-made kits that are made for garage doors. And they come with pre-cut pieces and these little sticky things that stick it in the panels. And you could do that. I want this to look neater, and when I'm done, I'm even gonna paint it. Those are like soft insulation, so that just doesn't look as neat to me, so I'm not going that route. I was watching a video a while ago about insulating a garage door, and I can't remember the name of the video or the guy's channel, but I'll put a card up here because it was a really good video. And he basically went through and tested all the different types of insulation on a garage door. Very thorough testing with the heat on the outside, and tested the heat on the inside to see the temperature ranges and all that, weight that it added to the door, price. Very good video. Check that video out if you want a deeper look into the different types of insulation. But after watching that video, the conclusion I came to was I'm gonna go with this stuff right here, which is Owens Corning Foamular NGX. Foamular, that seems like a made up word.
Foamular.
But really good stuff, super lightweight, very easy to cut with just a standard razor knife or something to that effect. Pretty affordable at about $20 to $30 for a 4x8 sheet with an R5 insulation rating, which, unless you know your different ratings, what that means, who knows? I'm not a fucking insulation expert. The testing he did, this one was one of the best at doing what insulation does, which is insulating things. The general idea is we're gonna take those foam boards and we're gonna cut them into squares that fit inside the square inset kind of pieces on the garage door. You could definitely hit the backs of the panels once you cut them with like some double-sided tape or a little construction adhesive if you wanted to, and you put them in there. But honestly, they're so lightweight. If you cut them right, you could pressure fit those guys in there. And then I'm gonna take some foil tape and kind of tape around the edges to seal everything off when I'm done. Those damn things aren't gonna go anywhere. The only extra step that I'm gonna unfortunately have to take that most of you guys won't, these metal brace bars that go across my door because of these damn hurricanes we have here in Florida. It's part of the hurricane code we have here in Florida because we live in damn Hurricane Alley. Without these extra metal kind of bracing bars on our doors, a good hurricane force gust could turn this damn thing into a wad of metal origami and yeet that son of a bitch into your garage, ruining your entire day.
Today and yesterday.
Those are gonna make it tough for me to fit the panels in. So I'm just gonna go unscrew those, pop those guys off, make the installation a lot easier, and then I'll just add them back after. But other than that, should be pretty simple. See how it goes. And we're done. Pretty simple stuff. I think it turned out really well. I'm actually super pumped with the way it turned out. I think it looks much nicer. It does take a little bit of work. Really, honestly, the foil taping is the most annoying part. I did end up going back up to Home Depot and having to get a 1/2-inch sheet of the foam board. With the way the panel depth is on this particular garage door, the normal foam sheets I got, they come in 1 inch and 1/2 inch. 1 inch was a little too inset for me and it was loose. I didn't like the way it was fitting. So I put some 1/2-inch backers in behind it to make it snug. So I did end up having to get another sheet of that stuff. But overall, not too bad. And I think it turned out looking really nice. Way nicer than the soft insulation kits I was telling you about. Those just kind of look messy. I think that is a much more completed look. You can paint it to match your garage. If it's a garage gym, you want everything to look nice. But if you don't care, the other ones would definitely be simpler. You could have probably done the soft kits in like an hour or less. This did end up taking me, we'll call it 6 to 8 hours maybe, just because I had to disassemble parts of the door to get it in there. The taping, like I said, is a bit of a laborious process. It's not the fastest thing in the world to do it somewhat neatly. You can get it done in a day, certainly. Overall cost ended up being, let's see, 4 sheets at $30 a piece for the actual insulation. Plus we had an extra one of the 1/2-inch pieces, which was 20 bucks. I got a gallon of paint because I didn't have any paint, but if you had paint on hand, you wouldn't have to add that. Gallon of paint was 30 bucks. Foil tape was $10 for a roll. I think that was it. So you're looking at about 180 bucks, so under 200 bucks, and that's for a 2-car garage door. Under 200 bucks and a little bit less than a day or a day's work can make your garage way more comfortable. I think it's a pretty good trade. And it seems to be working really well. I'll know more once I've had it in here for a few days. And this is not the most scientific measurement ever, but all I have is this Uni pizza oven thermometer, but it's one of those ones where, you know, you hit it with the little laser and it gives you a temperature. Right now, the sun is beating on the outside of this garage door. It was registering about 105 degrees or so. And the inside is reading, you probably can't read that, 83 degrees. So you're getting a little more than a 20-degree temperature difference from the outside of the door to the inside of the door. Raw metal, you're gonna get basically 0, because that metal is gonna heat up and it's gonna be the same temperature. So a lot less temperature coming into the garage, makes it easier for your mini split, makes it more comfortable. Cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. I think if you want to have a comfortable gym year-round, mini split mixed with doing your garage doors and insulating things as well as you can, probably one of the better upgrades you can do for your garage gym. All right, folks, well, that's all we've got today. Hope everybody enjoyed this one, got some good information out of it. If you did, feel free to smash that like button. That always helps us out. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. We'd love to have you on board. Hope everybody is having a fantastic week. We will see you in the next video. This is gonna be a lot better. Let me tell you something. Midsummer, like 110 degrees of fucking miserableness, not a fun way to work out. Call me a pussy if you want to.